Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. Okay, so for this photo, you're standing in what could be morning or could be afternoon light. I'd probably say afternoon light. You're standing in front of a kind of a stupa, temple stupa. You're standing with a red kind of fleece. You've got your backpack on. Let's see what else. There's like these gold sort of flags coming off the stupa. So like this stupa is basically kind of a Buddhist a Buddhist temple. Let's see. There's a woman on your right wearing a red jacket, just kind of looking at you, and you're just looking right at the camera. It's a beautiful scene. It could be Thailand because there's some hills in the background. It could be, I don't know, somewhere in Asia. So it looks very nice. Like you seem very calm, relaxed. Your arms open wide. Maybe you're welcoming the world. I don't know. So what is this?
So that's me in Kathmandu, Nepal.
Oh, sweet.
I was lucky and I did a co-op for 3 months in Nepal. So I rented a room from a family and it worked out perfectly because the husband and wife, both of their sons were around my age, but they were studying in the States. I think one was in the States and one was in Australia. So I kind of called them my Nepali parents. These are, it's like they're Canadian sad because
Sweet. Okay. Nepal, Kathmandu. So what was, what was the altitude? Was it like high up?
a bit. I forgot it was Kathmandu. I forgot how high it was. So like sort of altitude, not that much. But I more included that just because I had such a great time there. And I feel it was kind of the whole basis of why I. So my mom growing up like really loved Buddhism and Tibet in particular. So since I was really young, my mom would always just talk to me about Tibet and the East, and I really wanted to go. Obviously, like, Nepal is in Tibet, and it's pretty hard to get to Tibet now with the like, Chinese government. But I found this co-op, so I went there kind of for myself and for my mom, and that was also part of the reason why I got into studying high altitude stuff because my dream has been to do a field study in the Tibetan Plateau or anywhere in the Himalayas, and just record brain activity from the high altitude natives. But that trip, I just learned a lot about myself, and it was kind of eye opening too, because just from my mom romanticizing the East, I was a bit naive coming, and I thought that everyone would.
Welcome the foreigner with big open arms?
I was just really naive, and I expected that since the East is with Buddhism and everyone being really nice, that religion would be different there. I don't know. And I went there and I realized that there are obviously some good aspects of religion and Buddhism, but I met some shady people that were kind of connected to different temples, and it kind of opened my eyes that people are the same everywhere. Like I kind of romanticize the East, thinking that there be less crime and lying and theft, but everyone's the same everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that's a bit of a hard earned lesson, right? Yeah, wherever you go, it's just people doing their thing. But I don't know. I mean, I've always found, mm, well, I mean, definitely in Thailand, there just seems to be an ethos, maybe linked to Buddhism, of just being kind that I don't know. I just don't feel I see as much of, in the West.
Uh, so it'll go kind of against of what I said before, but the picture I'm in front of Buddha Stupa. It was like this area of Kathmandu that had pretty much a big chunk of the Tibetan Buddhist stuff. And on all of my days off, I would just kind of go there and hang out and sit in the temples. And I found it really relaxing and nice. And I'm like well, I go between atheist and agnostic. I'm not sure what I really am, but I'm not that religious. But I was drawn to that area and just the calmness in those temples, just sitting there. I think one day I spent 6 hours sitting in a temple just observing everything that was going on. Like,
Wait, wow. Okay, so 6 hours. Yeah, everybody's kind of looking at the foreigner just sitting there, kind of. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just yeah. You had. I can totally understand you finding a kind of sense of peace just hanging out. So what was the experience? I mean, it was a co-op. What were you doing?
for roughly 3 months, I worked at the Nepal Health Research Council, where what they did was if anyone wanted to do a study in Nepal, you had to send your study application to the center and they would approve it or not. I had to digitize like 5 years of folders. So they had like an Excel document and I just inputted, which I was a little bit salty about it. But then I realized that my Nepali coworkers were great. I don't want to make them sound kind of incompetent because they weren't, but I'm just a native English speaker. So it was a lot easier for me to scan the documents and find the relative information and input it in an Excel chart. So I I worked a lot faster, got a lot more stuff done. So I really helped them with that. And then through that, I managed to make a connection and I shadowed a neurosurgeon for a week. And I saw like some brain surgeries, which were really cool. And then again,
What? You got the shadows of a neurosurgeon. Oh well, look, this isn't something you can just do any day. I mean, that sounds astounding.
yeah, it just blew my mind because in Canada that would never happen. Kind of nonchalant, find some connections, and just ask like, "Hey, can I follow you for a week and go to the OR with you?" Then he's just like, "Yeah, sure."
That is totally wild. I mean, what an incredible experience. What an amazing thing to be able to participate in. How amazing. Okay, well, since basically the way we met is through doing physical exercise like BJJ. So, I mean, what kind of exercise were you doing while you're out there?
Oh, I wasn't doing anything. I was bad.
What a slacker. Well, then again, I'm sure it must have been quite challenging to actually find a good outlet.
Yeah, the downside was I found the air pollution was really, really bad there. So even just walking around, I was dead. Like for the first week, I tried to do like jumping jacks and sit ups and push ups, but I found I would just die pretty quickly.
So, is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So, if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.